Hello, I'm Jessica Brown, and this is the Showrunner Diaries. Okay, so previously in the first couple episodes, I was producing a pilot I was writing or had written called Righteous Attorneys. And it unfortunately blew up in my face, the entire project. And that's not the first time that's happened. But it probably won't be the last time. And it's actually happens quite often. I want to say mainly because I don't ever have the budget that I should properly be producing with. I truly believe that if I had actual money to shoot with, I would be able to have a little bit more control over what happens. And so that's what I'm going to kind of talk about in this episode. So let's start with the script. The script, it took me not long to write. It was inspired by a couple other actors, background actors that I had met on actual real production, TV production set. The chemistry was just, it was tasty, as my college professor would say. And I wrote in a few characters that were to be casted, and we were off. I was gung-ho about making it a half an hour, but really the script needed to be a full hour. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow. Not because it meant I would have to write more, just because I felt that it would alter the pace that I was going for, the tone. Really wanting it to be like a feeling of Schitt's Creek, or not so much The Office, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Boston Legal. Even though I think Boston Legal was an hour. But it had that feel for it. That's what I was trying to go for, and I felt like it had to happen within a half an hour. Even though in the final draft that was sent out, there was more scenes added in. It only pushed it to a half an hour. So there was that. Then it came down to collaborators and ownership. The series itself deserves a team of writers. I felt that a team of writers would have made the characters stronger, everything about this whole series stronger, because that's a whole world of perspectives being thrown into this universe, and then as a team we hone it down to what's really important, and all of that would have really came through in the script. But starting off with the pilot, how do you bring in a team of collaborators who all want writers' credit? But the story was started off with just a solo person, and that was something that I was having trouble with trying to figure out, because that was something, it was my baby essentially. Even though it was inspired by a group of individuals, I felt that I needed to hold ownership for this, at least the pilot, because it was something that I had written. It was something that I had sat down and written. And it was really hard for me to want to bring in other collaborators and share that credit. So there's that. I learned a very big lesson through this. If you're going to work with collaborators, start with collaborators. Casting for Righteous Attorneys, it was kind of frustrating. This was the first time I had, not the first time, the first time going through with using in a platform to assist with casting. I've used platforms before and they were all relatively flexible in terms of what you did. However, with this service, it required you to do everything through the platform. And for me, that was kind of frustrating because I like to be able to do table reads. And to schedule table reads, you need to be able to communicate with people in a more direct way versus through a platform. It just adds extra work going through a platform, and that was kind of frustrating for me. However, through the platform, I did find the initial cast to round out Righteous Attorneys. Next frustrating thing with casting this pilot, even though I had rounded out the cast, when it came down to the table read, some of those people didn't show up. So, at the table read, I'm just trying to pull in the people that are there to read from the other parts last minute, and that's just not fair. It's not fair for the actors that are there. It's not fair for the people that show up to watch the table read, and it's not fair to me. Like, we all are at a different level within this journey, but when we are coming together at this one time for this one project, we should all really be on that same page that this is it. This is our chance, this is our opportunity, we're gonna kick ass, excuse my language, and we're going to do the best that we can. Because this moment could kick off into the next greatest opportunity of our lifetime. All because we seized this one moment right now. And when people don't show up for these opportunities, we don't get that full opportunity to be that best that we can be. And that's not fair. And I can't be too hard on people because I have been that person in the past where I have flaked out, and I can't say what's going on with those people to not show up. Heaven forbid something happen, but sometimes it really just comes down to the individual and the choices that they made or make, and the universe around them. And so, rambling on, that's why I do make a good conscious effort to be aware of what I commit to and who I commit to. And yes, some things will happen that are just way out of our control, and there's nothing we can do about it. But in that moment, casting for this, it was showing signs of a weak production, and it was causing me great anxiety and panic, and that's not good going into a brand new production. I mean, there will be hiccups, and there will be things that don't happen the way that they're supposed to happen, and that's where we're supposed to be flexible and compromise and be able to think quickly on our toes. But there are just sometimes there are patterns. Like, if you've experienced it enough, you'll know when to pull the plug.